Hello and welcome to the Corner 3 live from Studio 41 presented by Chime, where we're posted up and spotted up talking all things Dallas Mavericks on and off the floor. We're back after a week to celebrate giving thanks and turkeys and all that other stuff. My name is Bobby Corello, and joining me after 2 weeks away, the great Austin Ivan. Austin, welcome back.
Thank you. I missed you guys.
Yeah, it feels like it's been ages.
It does feel like a long time. So this was like my peace offering, bringing you guys coffee. I missed you.
It
so
works. I'm like,
thank you for welcoming me back.
yeah, no, thank you for coming back. And then here to investigate where Austin was, the great Isaac Harris.
I'm so excited. Austin, I need answers.
Okay.
I need answers off the top.
Okay.
You were in the Rooms to Go lounge. How long ago was that? 3 or 4 weeks ago?
I've been hanging in the Rooms to Go lounge the past few weeks. Yeah.
I haven't.
Like consecutively?
Yeah.
Well, this is
God.
this is kind of what I want to know is like we haven't seen you really since you appeared on the Rooms to Go lounge. Are you allowed to like leave?
It's like a secret place. Yeah.
Can you give us can you give us the heart behind that lounge? It's just it's such a magical moment in the broadcast on Bally's, and I just need to know about it.
It's just like our cozy little corner. We hang out, we watch the Mavs game and we talk about some Mavs. The Stars have a Rooms to Go lounge too. So
The same lounge?
same lounge. So I was hanging for some Stars games too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are the vibes like?
The vibes are good.
Yeah?
It's fun. Yeah. I mean,
They're like music playing?
no, you have to make your own atmosphere with the
okay.
music, but
Okay, that's nice. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like lounge is like synonymous with like comfy chairs, which obviously there are.
we've
aplenty.
upgraded the chairs throughout the years. Like
Are they, how
Let's
cozy
go.
are they?
they're better this year. Last year they were like kind of bar stools, so we got like comfier chairs this year.
Yeah.
You seem like you like it. You seem like you're pretty giddy talking about it.
I'm usually with Erin Hardigan, and she's like fun, so like she makes the lounge like a fun place to be. So it's a good time in the lounge. Yeah.
So is it a live shot?
No.
Okay, all right, because you said we're in there watching the game, and I'm like, oh my God.
Well, I can't tell you all the secrets.
Oh,
of
that's right. Okay.
TV.
All right,
Is there a lot
all
of prep that
Strike
goes
that,
into it?
Chopper.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
awesome.
we find out or we figure out what we're going to talk about, and usually like look ahead to the next game or whatever. But yeah,
Could Bobby and I show up to the lounge?
sure.
Okay.
Would we be allowed in?
Yeah,
Rooms to Go lounge.
yeah. Your chair might we only have two like special chairs, so like you might like not have one of those
I'm fine with the bar stool.
comfier.
I just want
okay.
a selfie from the Rooms to Go lounge. That's all I want.
Okay, we can
It's
make that happen.
It's like legendary.
Is it?
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so the first time that I saw you in the Rooms to Go lounge this year, I was like the Leo meme. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
I
her.
know.
That's Austin.
I was too like, Austin's there.
Then I was like, oh my God, I hope she comes back. Like, I hope she's able to leave
I
the
was
lounge.
stuck in the lounge.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know like people knew about the lounge, but it's a fun
they know.
place.
Did you eat Thanksgiving there?
Did you eat Thanksgiving?
The whole holiday. Did you just eat it?
No, I got to go home to Oklahoma for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, the last time that we talked, we missed last week, of course, to celebrate the holiday. And then the 2 episodes before that, you were gone.
Yeah.
The last time you were here, you were about to go to Bedlam.
Yeah.
And I believe OK State won the game, right?
They did.
Okay, so you're just like living large.
The last ever Bedlam. I mean, it's been a good few weeks for Oklahoma State fans. I won't talk too much college football,
Not
but
for all the past players, but a lot of fans. Yeah.
The fans are riding. high.
yeah.
they are. So, we play in the Big 12 championship game tomorrow.
Okay, is that at
AT&T
Cowboys?
Stadium.
Are you going to be there?
Of course. I was going to wear my OSU jersey today, but I have to save it for tomorrow. So,
okay.
of course, I'll be there. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Against Texas.
Yeah, so last weekend, my family is a Michigan family, so Michigan played Ohio State and won that game. That was a little bit of a thriller.
Yeah.
So Michigan has a big game tomorrow. If they win, then they're in the top 4. So everyone,
we got
we're feeling good.
some college football to watch.
Who's
and
your
Mavs.
team, Isaac?
I don't watch college football. I watch good football on Sundays.
Wow. So you're just all in on like Tim Boyle and
Yeah, there's a lot of good quarterbacks right
Jake
now.
Browning. You're
Nobody
just like-
knows.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's awesome.
That's what I watch. There's probably people yelling at us in the comments right now that we're not talking about.
Talk basketball. Well, don't worry. We will. We will. Right now. That's what we got chapters for, too. So we'll put the timestamp in the description. So there are good things to talk about, actually. At the end of last week, right before Thanksgiving, there might not have been as many things to be grateful for, because after beating the Lakers, while beating the Lakers, Derek Lively took a pretty scary fall, hurt his back, was out against the Clippers, and the Clippers kind of had their way with the Mavs for about 47 minutes of that 48-minute game. But the Mavs finally came home after a long time on the road here. This nice stretch of schedule at the beginning of December is very, very home-heavy, and Dallas was able to beat the Houston Rockets, a surprisingly good team so far this year. So there's some good things to talk about. Now, after that game, Mavs head coach Jason Kidd reminded us all that there's a lot of good things to talk about, specifically a lot of good things to write about. So I don't know if Jay Kidd's a big podcast guy or not. Maybe Jay Kidd is a big reader. I don't know if he listens to podcasts. I don't know if he subscribed to the Mavs YouTube channel, which you should do right now. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell icon and all that stuff, and comment below with what you think Jason Kidd does or listens to. I'm working on it. Yep. But Jay Kidd reminded us via Tim McMahon to write some positive stuff. So I'm gonna follow Jay Kidd's advice.
You're gonna write something.
We're gonna talk about some stuff. I wrote things down in a Google Doc that I feel positive about, and now I'm gonna say them out loud. And so this segment is all about framing things positively. All right, we're Mav State Media. It's time to get to work.
Okay.
So we got 3 questions. Okay, I got 3 questions for y'all. First, what is something about the team that you're feeling great about right now? What are you feeling good? You got to share it. You got to yell it from the mountaintop.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
I'll share some positivity about Derek Jones Jr.
Okay.
I feel like he's a guy that honestly probably doesn't care if he, gets talked about, gets the recognition. He's a true team guy, just has said he wants to win, and we saw that when he didn't even start the last game, coming off the bench and still made an impact. But I've really liked the way he started the year. Probably a lot of people weren't talking about him at all before the season, but he's definitely been a positive impact for the Mavericks. Career highs in points, rebounds, and 3-point field goals. So making a difference on the offensive end. He can, finish at the rim. He's shooting it confidently. And then ultimately, defensively, he's defending, opponents' best guards on the other end of the court. So doing a little bit of everything. So a positive impact. Want to shout Derek Jones Jr. out for being a positive aspect to this Mavericks team to start the year. He deserves some love.
So he scored 15 points off the bench against Houston. That's his most points off the bench in a game. How about this for time being a flat circle? Since December 10th, 2022, when he scored 16 points off the bench for the Bulls against the Mavs. So how about that?
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, 2 of his highest scoring games ever off the bench have come against the Mavs. So really good signing by Dallas.
Full circle, yeah.
I want to talk about Kyrie. If we're talking about positive stuff, for me, I think one of the cooler things about Kyrie is, like I'm sure some people listening to this, maybe you had some family visit over the Thanksgiving week and break. And my mom and stepdad were visiting, and so we were watching some Mavs together. My stepdad's kind of, I would say he's the definition of a casual NBA basketball fan. Well, in like a good way. Like I love him to death, but he's he knows some guys' names, different stuff. And so we're watching the Mavs, and he's just raving about how much fun Kyrie is. And he's like, man, he just, I love how, he handles the ball. He pulls off these shots and tricks and all this stuff that he's just fun for both the casual fan and also the diehard fan too. That he brings this element outside of Luka that is this entertaining style of basketball for both styles of fans. I mean, you look at that second half the other night against Houston. I was there with a good friend of mine, and it feels like we had this conversation. We're like, man, I feel like Kyrie's been kind of quiet tonight. Right after that, Kyrie just starts going off and having his little moment there in the second half. So, I mean, so for swinging to the other side, we know all the highlights about Kyrie so far at the start of the season, but also just the comfort in having a guy who has that clutch gene in the fourth quarter that's shooting 90%, from the free throw line, the chemistry with teammates on the team and the connections around the league. We just haven't had a guy alongside Luka like that in Kyrie, honestly, since Luka's been here. And then you can even look at some of the numbers and stuff with him and Luka on the floor together. that was all the talk at the end of last season. We had this small sample size of those two guys playing together, and everybody wanted to have all their conclusions about if they could work or not. And now you look at them right now, they're positive net rating. They've played over 300 minutes together. They have 120 offensive rating when both the guys are on the floor together. We know the Mavs record. So it's like, but I don't really hear too much about that right now. It was popular to talk about it at the end of last season, but I don't really hear about it much right now. So positive, the whole Kyrie Irving experience to begin this season has been a lot of fun.
42% from three in November after a couple poor shooting games to start the year. 45% from three in his last 9 games. Hot Chimalaya. So the thing that J-Kid was talking about, referring to, I guess, or asked about, is the thing that I'm feeling great about right now, which is the Mavs' clutch performance this season. So Dallas, 8-1 in clutch games. Clutch is any game where the score is within 5 points inside the final 5 minutes. They're number 1 in the NBA in clutch offensive rating, and how about this, number 4 in the NBA in clutch defensive rating, which is that is pretty nice.
Did you say 4?
Number 4 out of 30.
Wow.
Yeah, number 4 out of 30. Now we'll get to the non-clutch defense here in a minute.
No, you don't have to say that.
Yeah, no. 8-1 is very good and very important. So clutch games, obviously sometimes there's going to be you're up 5 with 30 seconds left, and so it's not really a clutch game. Sometimes you hit a 3 to get down 5 with 10 seconds left, so it's not really a clutch game. But a lot of clutch games are essentially coin flips. It comes down to, can you make this one shot? Can you get this one stop? Can you make this one free throw? And too often last year and over the years, the Mavs have not been able to do that, but this year has not been the case so far. So just to give you an idea of how impressive 8-1 is, here's the Mavs' record in clutch games the last 6 years. So last year, 26-29. It's not very good, and that's 2/3 of their games. So they had a losing record in 2/3 of their games. Year before that, 22-16, which is really good. That was a top 10 win percentage in the league. Year before that, 18-15, which is fine. Year before that, 17-24. Yikes. Year before that, 20-26. Yikes. Year before that, which is 2017-18, that was the year after which they got Luka, 12-38. And there was some shenanigans going on in some of those games. So job well done. No. Mission accomplished, I guess. But, yeah, if you win 88% of your clutch games, then you are probably going to have home court in the playoffs. If you win anywhere above 50%, you're going to have probably a winning record. But the rate that they're scoring and the rate that they're getting stops in the clutch this year has been really, really good, and obviously a huge driving factor behind their success. Okay, we're scaling down the degrees of positivity here. So what's something that might not be great? Maybe it's good, maybe it's mid, maybe it's below average, but you're optimistic will improve. Austin.
Grant Williams offensively. I feel like he started the season strong. A couple big numbers. He put up 25 points, 17, 18. So we've had some nights where we've seen him score. The past 10 or so games, he's averaging 6 points a game, so it's gone down. So he's just in a little bit of a slump right now. I feel like he will get back trending up and scoring more than he is the past 10 games. He's a guy that we brought in for defense. So that's the first thing that we want to see from him, and he's doing that. But they would love to add more offense in, and it is harder to do when, the last game, Luka and Kyrie are scoring 70 points. So we don't need Grant to score as much in those situations. But to be a really good team, you would like to see him score more than 6 points a game. So I think it will, start trending back in the right direction. But just a little bit more consistency is what we're hoping to see offensively from him.
One of 3 Mavs to miss a dunk against the Rockets. That was a rare sight.
It was a tough moment there, and I was looking at the Rockets bench and a decent amount of laughter.
Oh no! Well, who got the last laugh?
That's true. Boban laughed. And I'm like, I can't even blame Boban. I mean, Boban's always laughing. So
he would have laughed if he would have made the dunk.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sure the Mavs players laughed too. I couldn't see
Grant
that.
probably laughed about it, to be honest.
I'm sure that was on some film at some point, but. I'll talk about Derek Lively's defense in general. I think it's easy to look at the block shots for him, but him as a help defender is great. For him to come over, block some shots. But when you start looking at some of the defensive numbers individually, and this honestly kind of goes back to college. When I was looking at his we're making a draft profile coming into the draft and looking at some of his Duke numbers. He got scored in the post when he was the primary post defender. It was 0.9 points per possession. Wasn't very good against some of these bigger guys down low. And you think, all right, he's a 7-footer. And you start looking at some of the league, and even in the Houston game, Şengün's good. But Şengün got him a decent amount of times when
he might make an all-star team this year, though. Man.
Yeah,
he's really good.
He is looking good. But you start just looking at even some of his other defensive numbers individually, even outside the post. You look at some of his fouls. He's at almost 3.5 fouls per game. He's tied for 10th most in the league, on a per game basis. Right now, he's young. He's raw. Individually, defensively, I think you kind of like look over that he can get better at that, and I think he will get better at that. As maybe not fully this year, but as time goes on, and especially look at some of the people they have there in the organization that had experience with developing Rudy Gobert. You look at Jensen as assistant coach. You look at Dennis Lindsey's in the front office that came from Utah. So, like those guys had experience of kind of molding Rudy Gobert into the monster defensively that he was. So they're trying to look at Derek Lively in a similar vein of that. So yeah, it's not the best right now, but I'm pretty confident that it'll get better.
I think another 10-15 pounds of muscle will go a long way.
Yeah.
So he is getting, in my opinion, an unfriendly whistle. I'll say he's a rookie.
A lot of rookies do,
Yeah. Some of his fouls, though, that are being called, he jumps vertically, and then the offensive player will jump into him, and he kind of reflexively go like this. And if your arms come down, it will be a foul, like almost no matter what. The referees are just programmed to do that. So I think with just a little more strength, he'll be able to absorb that contact and stay straight up. And then the other thing, I'm really looking forward to seeing him switch on guys a little more once they kind of hopefully complicate or I guess complexify, add more complex wrinkles into their defense. I don't know what the word is. Complicate their
Fancy.
defense. I don't know what the word. I don't know what the word is. I'm like coked out right now. So I cannot think. Okay, my thing that I'm optimistic will improve. Hey, the last time that we talked, we were like, wow, they're playing so fast. It's awesome. Well, the last 4 games, the Mavs are 28th in the league in pace. 95.63 possessions per game or per 48 minutes, which is not very fast. It's not very fast. No, it doesn't mean it's bad. In the last 4 games, I think the Mavs are 3-1 or 2-2, so like it's fine. But just keep the pedal to the metal. One way, of course, to get out and play faster is to force turnovers. They didn't do that a lot against the Clippers, certainly in that game, and then to a degree against some of the other teams. So some of it is just like game flow, but hey, maybe that means take more chances, get more turnovers. Some of it is they didn't do a great job defensive rebounding against the Clippers, and I believe the Rockets also had 21 second chance points in that game. So another way to introduce more pace in the offense is to get rebounds. So some of these are connected to other issues that we'll continue to discuss, but when the opportunity presents itself, let's take some early shots. Let's get down the floor. Let's leak out and hit a home run in transition. They were making great strides in that area in the first 10, 15 games of the year, and I would like to see them continue to do that and not trend back down because up-tempo basketball is really, really fun to watch. So I'm optimistic about that. Now, just because they play slow doesn't mean that they're going to be worse. It just means that they're, maybe not getting 35 dunks in transition per game. Okay, what is something? We're trying to be positive here. Okay, be positive.
Be positive.
Positive stuff.
Positive stuff.
What is something that only the power of positive thinking can fix? Austin?
I'm going to say defense because I feel like defense is 75%, 80%, like a mindset to begin with. Like, yes, you need to be athletic. You need to be able to move your feet. But a lot of it is just the effort and the attitude and the approach that you have to defense. So some positive thinking, just concentrating on that, saying, some positive thoughts in your head. I feel like that will go a long way and can make a difference, especially when we're pretty down, I think, at like the very bottom defensively. So
tied for 27th.
Yeah. So getting up just to the middle of the pack will be better. That's a positive, moving in the right direction. We've added, some different pieces into the team this year. So they're trying to help, but overall, I think it's mainly a mindset, wanting to go after rebounds, wanting to dive on the floor, wanting to hustle. And so just positively thinking about that, changing your approach. I think that's what's going to change the Mavs defense.
To your point about mindset, 27th in the NBA in defensive rating, but they're 4th in the clutch.
Right.
So when it's time to hunker down and get a stop, they have been able to.
So they're showing that they can. It's just thinking about it and wanting to do it the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote down something that I'm not going to talk about.
Cat, 86 the graphic.
Wait, I put that as a joke on there because I didn't think I was going to be allowed to talk about that.
Well, I mean, Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, I mean, well, I put the Mavs like special courts on there.
I was proud of that little subhead. That
Will we ever see them? I was really looking forward to seeing that court. It was up for what?
Apparently, the city court will be out tonight. Is
sweet.
out tonight. Yeah.
Let's go. We also talked about the court a few Fridays ago, and then
We did, and we did not see that one.
and we did not see
And we
it.
won't ever.
But let me talk about something that only with positive thinking. Size doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like, just because when you look at it, it feels like sometimes that we're still kind of small. Like we're still like Grant Williams brought in to guard the kind of bigger wing defenders. He can switch off on some of these other bigs out there, but he's still just 6'6". Like their small ball lineup that they threw out for a span there in the second half against Houston the other night, Luka was the biggest guy on the floor. And now Luka's big, but it's like when some people throw out small ball lineups, you're looking at guys that across the board are 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", 6'7", to where when the Mavericks throw out their small ball, it's, you know, Grant Williams at 6'6", Kyrie at 6'2". I think this is why you get a lot of Dante Exum's been playing well as of late, but he's bigger than Seth Curry. He's bigger than a Jaden Hardy. They need some more size out there, and especially if Lively's hurt. That's why, I mean, when Lively went down, you know, in that game, it's like, no, please don't, please don't.
Even Rashawn Holmes is what, 6'9"?
Yeah,
6'10".
You know, because after that, we know it's, you know, Rashawn Holmes, you know, Dwight Powell. So, and you start looking at some of these bigs. I don't know if I'm like there to say the league is like fully shifted back to going like big, but like you look at, you know, like Denver last year. You look at their front line of Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. You could just, you know, you look at Boston with Tatum and Porzingis, Al Horford. They can run, you know, some of those lines. Teams have this ability now to go bigger, and so even Derek Jones is starting, but he's, you know, 6'5", 6'6". So I think it's something that they got to figure out at some point. But they can't grow. So I mean, I think they're done growing. I could be wrong, but
It'd be nice if there's a growth spurt that happened.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be cool. I mean, David Robinson grew at like a foot in college. Like, what if Derek Lively just becomes like 8'2"?
That would be pretty.
We would love that.
That would
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But like you have to, that's not changing with this current roster. So like you have to look at it and be like, all right, only with the power of positive thinking, size doesn't matter with an NBA roster.
Yep, specifically. So my point is related to both of yours. Defense, attitude, effort, and then also size is positional size, but specifically manifesting itself in the rebounding battle. Now, the rebounding battle, game to game, Isaac, you're famous for this.
Yeah.
The rebounding battle does not particularly matter game to game. Even over the course of a season, it doesn't truly matter. The one area of rebounding that does matter all the time is defensive rebounding. So you can have 0 offensive rebounds in a game and get out rebounded by 25 and still win. Oftentimes when you get out rebounded, it's because you're missing more shots than the other team. So like the individual rebounding battle does not matter all that much. But what you cannot do is be like a bottom 5 defensive rebounding team. So last season, each of the top 7 teams in defensive rebounding rate, which is, let's say you miss 100, the other team misses 100 shots, how many of those defensive rebounds do you secure? Each of the top 7 teams in defensive rebounding rate at least made the play-in. 5 of the bottom 8 teams in defensive rebounding rate missed the play-in altogether. So they were bottom 10 teams in the NBA. Now the Mavs this year, currently 24th in defensive rebounding rate. See, they're 29th in the NBA in overall rebounding rate because they're 25th in offensive rebounding, which I don't think matters all that much. Now, I would like to see them get more offensive rebounds because they have such a good offense. You might as well lean into the strength at the cost of potentially giving up more transition points. They already give up plenty of transition points, so I'm not worried about giving up more. But what you can't do is be a bottom 5 to bottom 10 defensive rebounding team. Even in like 2019-20, 2020-21, whenever the Mavs were annually near the bottom in rebounding rate, it was because they just disregarded offensive rebounding altogether. Kat and I actually talked about this in the last episode of the show. How teams are only just now leaning back into getting offensive rebounds. But the Mavs in those seasons were still a top 10 defensive rebounding team, despite not being a very big team, kind of like, Isaac, what you were talking about. So you've got to get rebounds. You've got to get rebounds. The Mavs defense as currently constructed is not super big, and they don't force a lot of turnovers. And so the only way that you're going to get stops is by getting the boards. You don't want to give the other team more shots because it's hard to force one miss. It's even harder to force two. So that is the thing that, unless they make a trade or whatever and bring in some big gigantic person to play power forward, it's probably not going to fix itself. It's all up here. You just got to think.
And this is why when you look at like the development of Omax over this year and into next year, if they don't drastically reshape the roster, or shouldn't say drastically, if they don't reshape the roster, that Omax's development is going to mean something for this team because they just don't have a ton of 6'8", 6'7" guys on the team. And if he can develop into a guy that they're going to play a lot, then immediately you have another guy out there with that size.
One thing I'll say, shout out to Josh Green, who 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 6 of his last 7 games has at least 3 defensive rebounds, and he's 6'5", and usually playing 2 or 3. So, I remember Devin actually used to talk about this. Devin Harris back in the day. He would say that Rick wanted he gave some number, I forget, but like Rick Carlisle, who was the coach of the team at the time, wanted the guards. So in that era, it was, let's say, like Dennis Smith Jr., Yogi Ferrell, Devin Harris, and J.J. Barea off the bench. If those 4 guards could combine for like whatever it was, 10 to 15 rebounds or something, then Rick felt pretty good about their chances of winning the game. Like the threshold is very low because you know that your center, like Derek Lively, is going to get probably 6 or 7 defensive rebounds. Luka will sleepwalk his way to getting 9 defensive rebounds any given night. You know that Kyrie's going to get a few, like Grant Williams is going to get 3 or 4. If your smallest players can just do enough, right, then you're going to that will help you kind of overcome the difference there. But that means that everybody's got to try on every possession. That's a mindset. Like it's an approach. It's an attitude. It's got to be ingrained in your play style. So hopefully they can do that. But that's a pretty good amount of positivity, right? Sort of optimism.
Yeah, for sure.
And also,
Kid
not
be
being
proud.
a doomer, but like also, we're trying to acknowledge there's some imperfections.
100%. Yeah.
Just like some constructive criticism, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Heck yeah. All right. Let's give some constructive criticism to the in-season tournament, shall we?
Oh.
Moving forward. So group play just wrapped up in the IST earlier this week. The Mavs capped off their 4-game experience by beating the Rockets. That was pretty cool to see. Dallas goes 2-2, though, does not advance to the quarterfinals. Now, if you're still unsure of how this thing works, we did release another video. Kat put on a superhero cape and made a very, very good and detailed breakdown video in about 2 hours and threw that thing up on the internet on Wednesday. So that is on our YouTube channel if you want to see how the next round will work. But overall, so far, I don't mind it. I kind of think it's cool. But I want to hear from you, Isaac. Let's start with you. What's one thing that you like about the tournament so far, and one thing that either you don't like or that you would like to change for next year, assuming we do it again?
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I was kind of like, my whole thing was just like, sure, like, I wasn't out on it like the play-in. I wasn't, ready to buy all my Vegas tickets either, saying it was the best thing for the NBA or, best thing in the world. But I was just like, sure. I mean, it's like something new, something different to talk about in November, December. I think the elimination games, people will talk about those. They should be, they should be fun. I am kind of curious because I think the one element that they are missing on it some is fans, because it
Sorry, this is really funny. The one thing that's missing
yeah,
is
because
people.
it feels like, the players have the incentive to win money. It feels like every national writer in the world loves it. And to a point to where I'm like, are they getting something for this? Because they all love it. But like, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of like casual fans in my life, not my stepdad, I mean, he didn't have any clue about it, but it was like different friends the same age as me. They're just like, they either don't know really what it is, or they're like, I mean, cool. Like, that's the thing with the crazy courts. So it feels like it's like a writer media thing who love it, but I don't know if the fans are like fully like behind it yet. So I don't know. I feel like that's the angle to like look at it in a sense of, is there an incentive to really bring the fans behind it more? Or I don't know. I could be wrong. Y'all might have, some fans in your life that are not diehards that are like loving the in-season tournament or fully understand it. But so yeah, like what I like about it is it's just something different to talk about. We're going to watch the games either way. So it's like, okay, cool. A different stake out there for the game. What I would change, I mean, this isn't like they wouldn't like have to do this, but I think it would be cool to have the groups stay the same every year, and we actually give a reason for divisions. And because I don't really see the reason why we have divisions anymore. But like that could like cut down on travel, but also just add a little bit more to the whole division stuff, and to where it's like every year we know that the in-season tournament, our group play is going to be, with the teams kind of in our area. So like a California or like a...
That's pretty good. I like that.
I don't know. It just adds a little bit more to like Dallas and Houston. And, so I don't know. That's the only thing. Austin said this, early on, but pushing it back just a little bit, I think would probably be, I mean, it felt like we just got the season rolling and we have a group play game, but yeah, sure. I mean, it's going okay. It's going good.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting that you said about the fans, though, because I feel like the people that I've talked to about it are, media members or people that like really follow the Mavericks, but I haven't talked about it with people that are just the casual NBA fans. So that is a good point, that I don't know if that gives them any more interest to watch a game versus a different night. But I was kind of indifferent about it to come into this year. I think when it started off, the first couple in-season games, we were like, it's still so early in the season. There was some excitement that we were still just learning this team. We didn't care. We didn't need something else to talk about. Now that we're in December, it is getting more exciting to talk about, because I feel like we're in that stretch now where we're wanting, to see how these teams are developing and playing for something. So yeah, maybe still push it back just a little bit. I did like how they had designated 2 days, like a week, that were going to be the days that they played games. Like, you knew at any game you turned on that night, you could watch an in-season tournament game. So I did like that aspect of it. The thing I probably didn't like was, I like fun courts, but I just
you
couldn't.
Don't like your eyeballs bleeding?
I just couldn't tell whose court was who. Like, if you took the logo off, like the colors just kind of threw me off. Like, where was the correlation to like some fun colors? The blues weren't matching the shades of blue for teams, or, just whatever. So I like having a specific court for every team that's in the in-season tournament when we're playing those games, but maybe more related to your team. I don't know.
I think maybe just like a normal colored court, but then the stripe down the middle being a different color.
Yeah,
that could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's actually a metric that we can use to measure how many people even know what the in-season tournament is, and that is by looking at the Mavs YouTube channel. The first IST explainer video we made, outside of Luka scoring 60 against the Knicks, is like the highest viewed video we've ever produced for this company, which just means that like that's cool for us, I guess, but also it just means that the messaging wasn't all that great. Not a lot of people know what it is, so they're like looking. There's a curiosity there, like, how does this thing work? But if like they have to come to the Mavs YouTube channel to find the answer, that we as a league have to kind of do better for next year. And I think the more you do something, the more people will get used to it. The NBA has been a certain way for 75 years or whatever it is. The last big change to the schedule was probably the merger, and that was in the 70s. So I think people are kind of maybe like reluctant to or averse to change, and so they'll kind of settle in and get used to it as time goes on. But yeah, I mean, to y'all's point about people being aware, I was on vacation with my family during Thanksgiving. Now, the family of somebody who works in basketball, people that have been coming to Mavs games for 30 years, none of them knew how the in-season tournament worked, and like they're 1 degree removed from Luka Doncic. So I can only imagine how many people are kind of confused about it. So hopefully as time goes on, everyone will learn a little bit more. The thing I liked about it, man, more stakes is great. Just more stakes on games that they're going to play anyway. Let's artificially boost the seriousness of it. Playing for point differential, I think, is cool. I just think it's cool. I think it's funny to see players complain about it. I think it's cool to see players say that they like it. I just think it's cool. What I would change, I really like your idea about moving it back.
Yeah.
Later in the season, whether that's maybe if it started right now.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
I also think that making the group play last longer is good, because just 4 games doesn't feel long enough. Now, maybe 8 games is too long. Maybe you shrink the group somehow. You can't do that with 30 teams, but before long it'll be 32. So maybe it's 8 4-team groups, and then you play each team twice. So that's 6 games. It just feels kind of like, okay, now I finally know how it works, and it's over. It's kind of, and like, what if you lose your first game, then you're kind of done. Like it's just not as interesting, So I think playing more games might make it a little better, and starting it later in the season might make it a little better. Or just starting it in the season, playing the same number of games and make it better. I don't know.
That one last night of the group play, where the NBA, I mean, they have to go all out in trying to promote this thing, right?
Oh yeah.
But
the scenario doc?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was like, it was a CVS receipt of all the scenarios. I feel like I was the Zach Galifianakis meme of like just like putting all the things like, all right, well, this person, and because it's not, to your point about point differential, it wasn't just like this team win, this team lose. It was like this team win by 17 points. And then they were tweeting out a million times of like, Celtics are up by 16 at this point in the game. And it was like, oh my gosh. Did you fill out your bracket?
Well, we did.
No.
Yeah.
The NBA tweeted out like a little bracket challenge.
Oh,
thing.
did they really?
Yeah.
Well, that's how
we
you
should've
get the
done
fans
that.
involved.
Yeah, that's why I'm like laughing about it, because I'm like, hey, they got it. Like, I get it. I get why they're doing it, but I was like, this isn't March Madness, but December Madness, maybe. So everyone fill out your, in-season tournament.
Oh, it's literally just an 8-team bracket?
Yeah,
I thought
and
it was
like select your team, like Kings
okay.
over this, and then you like keep on going. And then,
all right, well, I'll fill one out. Might
Yeah.
as well. Jeez.
Yeah.
Y'all fill one out too, I guess. Okay, so we're going to revisit our own group predictions here soon to see how our brackets are doing. But first, like we said, the Mavs are not advancing to the quarterfinals. So the 22 teams that do not advance beyond group play to the 8-team knockout will have 2 games added to their schedule. And now those games were added via a process that is very transparent. Every single season, you're only scheduled to play some teams in your conference 3 times. So the Mavs play every team in their division 4 times, and then they play about half of the other teams 4 times. They play the other half 3 times. So these additional games added to your schedule were given to you based on the teams that you're only scheduled to play 3 times. So in the Mavs' case, they were only scheduled to play the Jazz and the Blazers twice each, which means the 2 games added to their schedule are against the Jazz and the Blazers, 2 teams that are currently near the bottom of the West. You look at in-division rival Houston, for example, who has a similar record to the Mavs. Their additional games are against the Thunder and at the Nuggets, which is pretty tough. So there you go. So that's how they did it. So it seems like the Mavs got like a good draw or whatever, but they were only scheduled to play those teams 3 times each anyway. So nicely done there. Also, the Mavs play tonight, which is December 1st, and tomorrow, which is December 2nd, and then they're off until December 6th. Feels like they've had a lot of days off in the last few weeks, which is kind of cool, and also makes you sort of like forget that basketball is happening whenever you have like 3 days off. I can only imagine how the players feel.
They probably like it with all the traveling that they had to start the season. Maybe
good
they needed a break.
Yeah,
some
just
rest.
kick their feet up.
Yeah.
And the new Pokemon Go season just started, so it's time to complete some tasks and stuff.
Grant's got some work to do.
Yeah, he's probably fired up just like me. Okay, it's the moment of truth, Austin. you need to let us know. Do we know ball, or do we not know ball?
A little bit. I mean,
We know a little ball.
yeah.
So,
Slightly.
Back
yeah.
at it was our first episode of the season, I think. We did IST group predictions, or maybe the second one,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
We went through each group, and we all predicted who we think will win the group, and then we picked one wild card team from each conference.
I struggled in the West, I think.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Okay. Well, are we going to go through like group by group?
Yep.
Okay. So Group A in the West, the Lakers won. You guys both picked the Suns.
But they advanced.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Do we get a point?
You can get like half a point.
Okay, 0.5 points. Okay.
Half a point.
Okay.
And then I get a full point because I did pick the
Oh.
Boo.
Yep. So,
Okay. Well, did either Isaac or I pick them as the wild card?
no.
No,
You picked the Lakers as your wild card.
So do I get half a point then for
You
that?
get a half a point for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Okay. West Group B,
Okay.
Pelicans won. No one got.
Yeah, there's no shot.
Nope. We picked the Nuggets, and you picked the Mavs. So
Yeah. Because I'm a company man.
That's right. And where'd that get you?
Whoa.
okay, I know this is the one that you knew you won. Group C, Kings.
That's right.
You got it.
Kangs, baby.
Cats Kings.
I went with the Warriors. You went with the Thunder. So
Yeah, yeah.
Bobby got us on that one.
All right. So I got 2 points heading into the East. I'm loving it.
Okay.
I have a half a point.
Yeah. Maybe you'll catch up.
No, I don't think so.
Whoa!
Spoiler.
Oh my gosh! Go back to the Rooms to Go Lounge.
Okay, so we went over the wild card. East Group A, Pacers won. None of us got that right. We said 76ers. You said Hawks. So
The Hawks finished in 4th, I think, right? The Sixers only went 2 and
Thanks,
2.
Bobby.
No, that was a surprising group. I mean, that was a surprising group.
yeah, I picked the Hawks for the wild card. So I didn't get a point there either.
The Hawks and the Pacers played that game. Was that the 157-152 game?
I think so.
Yeah.
Rick was like, "What is happening?"
I mean, this is, cannot compute.
East Group B, Bucks. I had that.
Ooh, okay.
I had Milwaukee.
All right.
You guys both had the Heat.
Okay. That was I overthought that one, I think.
Positive note, Group C, we all got right.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Celtics.
Woohoo!
We all nailed that one.
Isaac is on the board.
There you go.
I have 1.5.
There you go. And then the wild card next. No one had that. You had the Bucks. I had the Hawks. You had the Magic.
Oh, so I get a half point.
For
For the Bucks?
For
Yeah.
having a buck.
There
Yeah,
you go.
you do. Oh,
So
and
I
then
have 2 points.
I picked the Magic.
yes.
Oh, they came so close to advancing
did.
too. That was point differential.
Magic are fun this year.
I guess they were actually closer to winning their group than they were to the wild card because the Knicks were like plus 40 something. The Magic finished a few points behind the Celtics because the Celtics ran up the score in their game the
Yeah.
day after complaining about how everyone else was doing it.
Haka Drummond.
Yeah, NBA players learn the rules to a challenge. Okay, so the final tally after our predictions: Austin scores 3 points, Bobby scores 3 points, Isaac scores 2 points.
That's not bad. That's
It's
not bad.
Don't be trying to like make it not bad now.
That is not bad.
It's not.
All right, let's.
Are we're gonna do the new
Yeah,
we're filling out
Yeah.
our bracket right
Yeah.
now.
right now?
We're gonna-
Right now.
We're gonna print it off and
We
put
just
it on the door.
need to
Okay.
find the bracket first.
I mean, I
well,
have
not that-
the 4 games
it's
that
not
are
that
being
big.
played.
Okay.
Suns at Lakers.
Okay, Suns at Lakers. All right, down the line.
Suns.
Suns.
Are you keeping track
Yeah,
now?
I'm keeping
Okay.
track. Yeah.
I'll go.
Don't do it all.
So it's Suns at Lakers, right? So it's
I'll go
in LA.
Lakers.
Lakers.
Yeah.
When do they play the game? It's like next week.
What
Think-
does that matter?
Well, because LeBron said if Bronny's debut is the night of a Lakers game, he's skipping the Lakers game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know what day it is. I can.
Okay. No, that's fine. It's on.
So that means the Lakers will
Tuesday.
be better defensively.
Oh wow! All right, I'm gonna go with the Lakers. I'm gonna go with the Suns. Yeah, I'm going with the Suns.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I'm going with the Suns.
Lock it in.
It's locked in.
'Kay.
There's no backspace on this laptop.
Okay. Pels at Kings.
Adele.
I'll go first on this one. Give me the Kings.
I'll go Pelicans.
Oh,
okay.
Give me Cats Kings.
Yeah.
Dude, all aboard the choo-choo train. Come on.
Yeah.
The Kings are going to win the championship. This championship.
The cup.
The cup.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one?
Knicks at Bucks.
You go first.
Bucks.
Bucks?
Give me the deer.
You fear the deer?
Fear the deer.
I will also take that's boring. I'll take the Bucks though. I'm not
Yeah.
brave enough.
Brunson's been playing good basketball though.
Yeah, he scored 40 the other night, right?
Yeah.
Against the Pistons. That is tough.
Well,
Tough situation.
Last one is Celtics at Pacers.
that's a fun game.
You know what?
They're at Pacers?
Yeah.
That's what I have written down.
Yep. Pacer went undefeated. I'm doing it.
I
Give me
don't
the
know.
Pacers.
Do it.
Give me the Pacers.
Do it.
I'm doing it.
I'll go Celtics. I think I had the predictions, like we made overall predictions that I'm trying to see if I can find those
we
to
did
see
the
if like
tournament winners, right?
if any of those teams
Oh,
are
no.
even in it.
Should I even? Because I think I picked the Celtics to win. So should I?
You
Can I go against my own pick? That feels
okay, I just found it. Yeah.
that's hedging my bet. actually.
Isaac,
That's-
You don't have to
You-
say mine.
You can see it.
I had the Thunder and Hawks.
Ooh.
Yeah, you had the Hawks and Thunder in the finals with the Thunder winning. I had the Celtics and the Nuggets with the Celtics winning, and you had the Lakers and Celtics.
Oh.
So-
I'm alive. I'm alive.
Yep.
Give me the Celtics over the Knicks. Or
Pacers.
Celtics over the Pacers, yeah.
Okay, so then we got Suns and Pelicans in the semifinals.
Well, I picked the Lakers.
Well, yeah, but this is our bracket now. We're doing
So
the bracket
it's like
challenge. You can't pick the Lake. Oh, wait a minute. I thought you took the Suns to win that game. Or no. Isaac, you took the Suns, right?
Yes.
And then Austin, you took the Lakers.
Yeah, but maybe I want to change my
How
answer
can you
now.
play chess but not
You don't want to know. All right, so Lakers and Pelicans.
Lakers.
All right. And then Bucks and Celtics.
I'll go Celtics.
And then Lakers Celtics.
Celtics.
Dun 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 dun.
I can't go back.
All right. Suns and Kangs.
Kings.
Ooh. Bucks and Celtics.
Bucks.
Kings and Bucks. Ooh. This is the NBA's dream finals matchup.
Give me Cats Kings.
Oh, let's go. Come on. Suns and Kings. Kings, baby. Bucks and Pacers. You know what? Pacers. Kings versus Pacers. Oh, that would actually be a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, tune in for that.
Give me the Kings.
I do think these teams, like,
I'm tanking.
now that they're all in the top 8, like, I don't know if really, the bracket group play, if it made that much of a difference with how they play, but I think now, like, they definitely are acknowledging, like, there's something on the line, there's money to play for.
Yeah.
So I think, like, now they're taking it a notch up with the focus that they're actually trying to win this and get to Vegas.
Kings
so,
are putting. Would they put a banner?
No way. No.
All right.
I mean, maybe, though, honestly.
just like
I mean,
maybe a little like
maybe a little
poster.
poster.
A
Poster.
court silhouette.
I mean, in the quarterfinals games, you're playing on your home court. Like, you don't want to lose in your home court ever.
Yeah.
Especially in a situation where if you win, you get money. And then in Vegas, that'll be really interesting to see. I'm actually really excited about this, and it's not because I'm being paid to, Isaac, be excited about it. It's not some like NBA
well, the
media
Mavs aren't in
conspiracy.
it, so
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I'm just excited to watch, and I am rooting for all of the underdogs in
Yeah.
every single round. I don't want. I picked the Celtics and the Lakers. I mean, whatever. I don't want them to win. Give me the Kings, man. Give me
Kings
the
Pacers would be awesome.
Yeah, give me the underdogs. It would just be fun. It would be fun, even though it would not lend legitimacy to the tournament in the eyes of, kind of the more casual fans who really you do need to win over if you want this tournament to be a thing. But, hey, it would also be a really good way to let the general public know that there are teams outside of LA and Boston and New York, and also that these teams are very good. The Kings are really, really good. The Pacers have the best offense of all time so far this season. Tyrese Halliburton is a stud. Like, I want more people to know about these teams, and maybe this tournament is a good vehicle to accomplish that. So
the next chapter in the trade also.
Oh, yeah.
Halliburton and Sabonis.
Who won the trade? We'll find out in Vegas.
In Vegas.
In the IST finals for the NBA Cup.
IST.
Oh, well, that was fun. We'll, I guess we'll know this time next week which one of us knows ball and which one of us doesn't. So far, Isaac, you got some work to do.
I do, yeah.
We're holding it down well, though.
Yeah. We'll see.
Y'all
You make a
know.
comeback. You said you're going for the underdog, so like I feel
That's
like
right.
you are the underdog in the situation.
I'm pulling for you, Isaac.
All right. Well, maybe someday I can make the transition from hooper to sports reporter.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe with the power of positive thinking, you can achieve
Yes.
anything.
Only by positive thinking.
Oh, well, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. It was fun.
It was fun.
Okay.
I'm
I need
glad I was.
validation.
Was fun.
Yeah,
All right.
I missed you guys, so I'm glad we're back in a groove after a few weeks off for me. So
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back, and hopefully the basketball will continue being good. Kat and Chopper in the back, thank you all, and thank you again to E for holding it down while Chopper was gone, and thanks to Kat for holding it down while they were gone. And
Yeah.
thanks to you all for watching on Mavs YouTube channel or listening on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We really appreciate your support, your feedback, all that stuff. Hopefully you're enjoying the in-season tournament. Hopefully you're enjoying the regular season so far. And win, lose, or draw, you can count on us to be back with you next Friday on the Corner 3. Until then, be a good person, and we'll see you later.